Paul da Vinci is a singer and musician best known as the lead vocalist on the Rubettes' hit Sugar Baby Love in 1974, and he also had a successful solo career with the UK charting single Your Baby Ain't Your Baby Anymore. In the 80s, he also sang most of the vocals on Tight Fits, Back to the 60s Part 2, and performed on Top of the Pops. And on the 13th of July this year, he'll be performing with his band at Viva Blackpool. And Paul is on the phone with us here. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you, Toby. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, thanks. So, Sugar Baby Love is one of the most recognisable songs of the 70s, isn't it? So, what was it like to be on such a big hit?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was sort of double-edged sword, really, but obviously because the group mimed to the record that I'd made, but it was amazing, yeah. I couldn't believe it. We were sitting in our house and my daughter was about 3 at the time, and suddenly somebody phoned me up and said, "Paul, what's Top of the Pops tonight you're on?" And I thought, it was a demonstration record as far as I was concerned, and the group were on there miming to my record, but we settled out of court, and I did get a royalty from it, but obviously it had repercussions with my career, but I've stuck in there, and things are going good.
Were you quite annoyed initially, and how do you feel about it now? Do you feel like you've got the recognition now?
Not really. I'm still working on it. That like these gigs that I'm doing and the gigs with the band, and we're having fantastic reactions from the audience, and we've actually learned our craft because we've had to. So we really care about that the audience go away, absolutely satisfied, and so there's no complacency with this band, and they're all fabulous players, and I'm loving it, So I'm enjoying being on stage now more than I've ever done.
So how did you actually get involved with singing Sugar Baby Love?
Well, I was doing demonstration records for actually I was singing backing vocals for Barry Blue. And the actual guys that played on Sugar Baby Love were the guys that played on Barry Blue's records, not the guys that you saw on Top of the Pops, apart from the drummer. So I got a phone after I did a record called Do You Want to Dance with Barry Blue, and me and Adrian Baker sang all the high vocals at the end of it. If you listen to the end of that, there's some really high singing, And I got a phone call then from Jerry Shorey, who was the arranger and fantastic piano player, who's unfortunately no longer with us. And he said, "Paul, there's a couple of songwriters have had a bit of a hit in the States. They want to do some doo-wop stuff. Will you do the sessions?" So I went along and did the sessions with Wayne Bickerton and Tony Waddington. And after the first session, they went, "Oh, wow, we'd like to sign you." But I had actually signed a record deal with Penny Farthing Records. So I couldn't do it, But anyway, so I did some more stuff. Then I did Sugar Baby Love on the next session of about 5 songs. And the next thing I knew, they asked me to do it. And like I said, I just signed with Penny Farthing, and I've got Your Baby Anymore about to come out. That was it really. So I couldn't do it. So I said to them, "Look, take my voice off of it, and I'm quite happy. Take my voice off it, no problem." Well, the next thing I knew was I saw Top of the Pops with Alan Williams miming to my voice. But he wasn't even at the session. He wasn't even there,
Yeah. And how did you feel at that point? Because I guess on the one hand, objectively, it would be exciting to hear yourself on Top of the Pops, but when it's kind of somebody else taking credit, it's...
Well, somebody else standing there singing. Oh, no, it was very frustrating, So we sent legal people around straight away, and they agreed a royalty for it, But a lot of people still don't know. I mean, somebody came to show the other day and said, "Oh, I couldn't believe it. So I thought it was Alan Williams that had sung that record, and he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even there, So they got a big career out of, because that's the record that when they do their shows, or when they were doing their shows, I don't know what they're doing now, but that's the one that everyone wants to hear, the one they weren't on. So it was frustrating, yeah. Can you imagine it? I mean, imagine if you'd done something like that, and I actually suggested singing that high. They'd not thought of that. So that now would be a writing credit, The way, it works with the songs now, you've got about 10 writers. I would have got a writing credit for that as well, because they hadn't thought of that. And I said, "It's not working." And I said, "It's got to be an octave higher." And they went, "Ah," and suddenly Lansdowne Studios was suddenly full of people. They were having like a party. You know, I was I couldn't. I was so naive about it. I thought, well, because I'd done lots of sessions like that. You know, so no, it was a bittersweet thing. When Your Baby came out, that was good because I was writing rock music. I was writing and singing rock music and stuff, you know, but obviously I wanted to prove that I'd done it, so I wrote that song to highlight the fact that it was me singing it. That was the main objective of it, you know.
Yeah. And how do you hope to raise awareness today about the fact that it was you that sung Sugar Baby Love?
Well, I mean, obviously the internet has been a major thing because lots of people are going, wow, we can't believe it, you know, on there. And the shows, it's very nice on the shows because I actually do it on the show and immediately people go, well, definitely was you that did it, you know. So, I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm really enjoying doing, you know, doing the shows is fantastic. I've got an amazing band of players. I mean, they're all over the world. They're top session musicians. They're playing with everybody, you know. My keyboard player, I've got a couple of keyboard players, but one of my major keyboard players is a guy named Steve Price, who was Joe Longthorne's musical director, and he plays in my band. I've got him in my band, which is like wonderful, you know. And I've got these fabulous players. I mean, they really are. So it's a joy every time we get on, and everybody I think appreciates that it's special when we're on stage because we're blowing everything apart. You know, we did a festival last year. On my Facebook, there's a bit of footage of the audience response at Fest. So if anyone wants to have a look at that Paul Da Vinci Facebook, there's a bit of film of it, and that's what it's like every night. The audiences are going. We couldn't get off. We were supposed to be on for an hour. We were on for an hour and a half, and at the end of it, they started flashing lights to get us off. You know, but, and I'm loving that. You know, and you know, and I'm still writing, and actually I'm in the process now of possibly releasing some new material because I've been writing and producing stuff for a lot of years, and I suddenly people have been asking, like, we'd like a record, so I thought I might as well, you know, beat the odds and be the longest gap between hits in history. You know,
yeah.
I'm going in the Guinness Book of Records. But we're really looking forward to Viva, you know. And I'd like to thank Erica Crompton and Bigfoot, the Bigfoot events, who are my agents. And they're amazing, you know, and they got us in here. So I'm really pleased to be associated with them.
I think you're right there, because I think it's ABBA that have recently broken that record, and that's 40 years. So for you, it'll be nearly 50 years.
It will be, yeah. Well, actually, funnily enough, ABBA, their Waterloo knocked Sugar Baby Love off the top of the charts after 6 weeks. So it was Waterloo that actually not, so it's about the same time, you know. But we're really looking forward to it. Had a lot of interest on Facebook. A lot of people saying they're going to come. So we hope to get a sellout there, you know. And I really hope to. Anybody that comes along, please say hello, and we'll have a drink and whatever afterwards, you know.
And you were a session singer before and after your solo career. So were you on any other songs that did as well as Sugar Baby Love?
Yeah, I nearly joined the Hollies at one point. I'd done a song called Sorry Suzanne, a demo for Tony McCauley of a song called Sorry Suzanne, which became a big hit for the Hollies. And I came in from technical college, actually, and I was about 17. And my mum said, she said, you had a phone call from this bloke named Tony Jolly, Tony Kicks from the Jollies, that was it. And I said, you don't mean Tony Hicks from the Hollies, do you? And she went, oh yeah, that's it. And like, for me, they were superstars, you know. So, and I'd been reading in Melody Maker about them. And anyway, so I phoned him up, and he said, oh, you know, Graham's leaving. And I went, oh yeah, like Graham, you know. And he said, do you want to come along and try out? And as it happened, I got chronic flu, but I went along, and it was between me and Terry Sylvester to get the gig. But Terry was the right thing for it, because I didn't play guitar at the time, and like I said, I had got flu when I went along there. But he said, you're the best we've heard so far. And I did things for the songs that became hits for Piggity Witch, some for Elvis, Tom Jones. I did. Do you remember The Boy from Nowhere by Tom Jones?
I think so.
It was a big hit for him, you know. There was a musical called The Matador, and I'd done all the Tom Jones part, and I was going to be the singer on the thing. Funny enough, I was reading a book about Tom Jones's life, and we live near Pontypridd now, ironically. And he said he was listening to this really good singer. He said, he said he heard the demos of what was going to be the recording, and he said, I want that, and he sent his manager along, and so I got ousted on that. But that was another near miss. Been lots of them, really. I did the Who's Tommy. I was in Tommy in the West End and 2 runs in Hornchurch. I met Pete Townsend, which was great, because they were another lot of heroes of mine. Because I wasn't really into rock like when I was at them, I've got lots and lots of things. Don Black and Jeff Stevens, I did a musical with them called Dear Anyone. Did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, I was in that. But lots of, like Piggly Witch, the Hollies, lots of them, I can't remember all of them. And loads of campaigns, like for Smith's Crisps and for British Airways and British Telecom. All things that you probably too young for you. Because we saw a picture of you, we thought you'd be older. My wife went, God, look how old is everybody? Old. Everybody's younger than me now. I can't believe it, Toby.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Had you ever sung on a jingle or a campaign that maybe you regretted if the product was a flop?
No, not really. No, I did Harp Lager. I did. What did I do? I did British Airways, British Telecom. Lots of Smith's Crisps. The Smith's Crisps was hilarious because there were 4 sort of major singers on there. There was Gary Taylor, who was the bass player from The Herd, who had lots of big hits, lots of people like that. And we all had to slow it down. We had to sing low and then speed it down. So we were all going, we wanna be Smith. It was ridiculous. But it was one of the most lucrative ones that we had. Then they speeded it up to, we wanna be, check out the advert. I was the third potato from the left.
I'll try and spot you.
Yes, no, but I mean, it was just one of the best ones that I did was I got a phone call. Scott Walker's always been a hero of mine, and I got a phone call from the agency saying I was going to sing a third part on a Walker Brothers record, which I did do,
Wow.
And that was on a song that they did, a song called "To All the Girls I've Loved Before," which was a big hit for Willie Nelson and Hula and Daisies, So that was great, meeting them. That was really good. But lots of interesting stuff.
Yeah. So how's the music industry changed since you started your career?
Technically, I mean, obviously, the technology involved with it now, which I'm now, I've been learning for a while. I program on Logic Pro 10. Obviously, that's totally different because it was all analog tape and stuff, and it was a very different process to what it is now. And obviously, we thought in the 70s that like a small royalty of like 3% or something was like terrible. But now they're getting 0. It's an absolute rip-off. They're getting 0 something per sale, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Nobody would have predicted that. And obviously, the music business, I don't understand actually how these huge sums of money are talked about, like with these Ed Sheeran settlements and things, when there doesn't seem to be any money in the recording part of it for most people. For 99%, I would say, of artists, there's no money in the actual. It's to do with promoting the work, the gigs, and that's why I want to do some more recording, because I'd like to open out more festivals and stuff for us. So, like I said, I'm writing at the moment. I've got a song called Third Finger, which is, the lyric is I'm not raising my third finger, which I'm going to probably put out and cause a few ructions with, but it's a bit difficult because I'm writing very differently from the person I was at 23, when I had the records, because I'm now a little bit older.
And that's an important point about the money, isn't it? Because a lot of musicians are kind of dependent on the shows now rather than the sales and the royalties, because you're going to get hardly anything from them. Totally,
absolutely. I mean, you can sell on the shows. Obviously that's a lucrative thing if you're doing that. But actual records themselves. I mean, and trying to place songs with other artists is much more difficult. I mean, you've now got like 10. How can you have 10 writers on a song?
Yeah.
If you're in the same room and you've shared the same toilet, you get a record royalty. You know, I mean, a writing royalty is crazy. I mean, but it's a very different thing. I just bought a course actually by Mark Robson, a production course, and that's very interesting how it all now works, you know, and how these producers actually get a writing royalty. But I much prefer it when the writers are one writer or two writers, so you know they've definitely done what you're listening to, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because so many songs these days have 10 writers, and a lot of them sound kind of formulaic, don't they? And when you think of all the classic songs that resonate with us and are still here, we still listen to after all these years, it's like one or two people that wrote them.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's it's incredible with Ed Sheeran. I mean, he was writing them on his own. Now he's writing with a team, and he's got a thing on YouTube where he's basically using 4 chords for every song that he does, you know, and they work. I mean, they do work. You can't look back, but it's not like the best song that I've heard lately has been that. Have you heard that song called Golden by JV? I forget what his name is, but it's an absolutely beautiful song. I don't know if you heard it, but it's you must have heard it actually. It's a beautiful thing, you know.
Don't recognise the name, but maybe I have.
Oh, yeah, you would have heard it. I think it's called Gold. It's an absolutely beautiful thing, and this guy's written it on his own. So you know that really, I've really sat up and took notice when I heard that. But yeah, a lot of it is formulaic. It's become a very professional, polished business. But I mean, I love the Miley Cyrus record. You know, that the Flowers record. I thought that was excellent. You know, and the album's very good as well. Don't know whether you've heard that album, but it's a real goodie. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so there are a few. I mean, but even with her, there's a lot of writers involved with it, so you don't know who's done what. You know, I suspect she's doing a lot of it herself. But yeah, it's a weird one because people like Adele recorded comparatively old-fashioned style of music, and it's absolutely flown, doesn't it? You know, as opposed to all the rap thing and everything that's going on. But it's become a business. That's the thing. It's become a polished. It's not like, I mean, the 60s was great because the 60s and the 70s. Particularly for me, the 60s, I liked the music, you know, with the Beatles and the Small Faces and the Who. You know, I mean, that was just very raw, and they were very brave people because, I mean, the Who had loads of hits and they've got no money. The Stones had loads of hits, no money. The Beatles were getting a farthing per record. But now that's a lot compared with what the artists are getting, which is it's ridiculous, you know.
Well, you're going to be performing with your band at Viva Blackpool on the 13th of July. So what can we expect from that performance?
It's going to be every night at the end of the show, the audiences are shouting, really shouting for more. And it's exciting, you know. I mean, we give 100%, and it's like a hurricane in there, you know. I mean, it really is. I mean, I look at the footage when I'm sitting at home here, and I think I do not know where that energy comes from. Because I'm sitting here feeling older. When I get on stage, it's like, well, it's all classic. We do The Lion Sleeps Tonight. We do Sugar Baby Love. We do My Girl. We do a tribute to the Walker Brothers. We do a rocking set at the end with Nutbush City Limits, and I do a tribute to the band at the end of it where we sing. We do Canned Heats on the Road Again, and the guys play solos, and they're fantastic players, and everybody sort of, and the drummer actually does a beatbox thing. He plays drums, and then he does a whole beatbox section with his throat, you know, and which is remarkable. I mean, the audience are just, I see them at the front, and they've just got their mouths open, you know. So it's really good. So hope to see you there.
Yeah, hopefully. I plan to be in Blackpool that day, so we'll see.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
Yes.
It'd be great. I promise you won't be disappointed, Toby. And it's a goodie, you know.
Yeah. Do you find that over the years, when more and more people have come to discover you and realise that you are the true voice of Sugar Baby Love, you've had more people come and see you?
Yes. Yeah, oh, definitely. It's definitely building. I mean, we're doing a festival next on Saturday, the Upfest in Somerset. And, I mean, people are really coming down there. The main thing is that Sugar Baby Love becomes a minor point of it. They keep saying, where the hell have you been? Why don't we know about you? You know, so obviously because of what happened with Sugar Baby, that was what really curtailed a lot of my career. But that's really nice when they come along and go, wow, you know, where have you been, sort of thing. We didn't know about you. So that's nice. You know.
How are you preparing for the show? Are you rehearsing for it? And I take it it's a kind of tour. So have you started preparing for it?
No, we've got the sets that we do, and it's like a well-oiled machine. So it's thoroughly rehearsed and everything because of all the shows that we do. So we're every show is a rehearsal. You know what I mean, Toby? So
yeah.
It's like we don't need to rehearse again because it's all when we go on we go boom and everybody clicks in and knows what they're doing. You know. And it's all very, very structured. It's all very structured so that the audience don't get time for breath, really. They sort of like, and at the end of it, they're going, oh, you know. So that's how it's been conceived, you know. And I love it. I mean, and everybody loves it. They're amazing players. I mean, they're some of the best players in the world, you know. They really are fantastic. I stand there every night and go, wow, I'm on with these guys, you know. But it's nice.
So what else are you working on? Of course, you mentioned that you're thinking of coming up with some new music soon. So what can you tell us about that, and are there shows after this Blackpool one as well? Right,
well, we're doing lots and lots of Warner Leisure shows. So if anyone wants to come and see us, if they look up Warner Leisure and GN Holidays, and they GN hire the Warner venues. So we're doing lots of. That's basically what we're doing. I'm going to Spain to do a solo show in 2 weeks' time in Villamartin in Spain. But the GN Holidays is going to be a goodie because that should double our work, the amount that we've got at the moment. So that's quite exciting. But really, I want to try and get some material out. I'm going to put a lot of. I've written a song called Coffee that I really like, and which is like a dancey thing, you know. And it's quite a sort of quirky track, and everybody loves coffee, don't they? So I thought I could tie it in possibly with a commercial for Costa Coffee or Starbucks or something, you know. So I'm going to put some stuff out and see just how much I can generate in the years that I've got left, you know, whatever that is, you know.
Well, where are we able to get tickets for this Blackpool show and find everything that you'd want us to find and keep up to date with you and all that?
Well, if you look on Viva Blackpool's website, you can get the tickets on there, and on my Facebook as well are all the details as to how to book. So if you look at Paul Da Vinci Facebook, or you become a friend on there, all the information's on there.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great having you on the show.
Thanks so much, Toby. Lovely to speak to you, and I hope to see you.